So what is hope to me? To me, hope is this sort of positive attitude that I have towards an expectation that is uncertain.
Knowing that there are better things await in the future.
Okay, hope to me is believing that things will get better. Hope gives us the ability to believe that there are more possibilities out there.
Knowing that I have an amazing support system from my family and friends, and that no matter what happens, I won't be doing it alone.
Things are very impossible when things feels very impossible to overcome. Hope is that spark of fire. You only need to think about that one thing, and then it just makes you want to power through whatever obstacles that you are facing. So that is what hope means to me.
A very close uncle of mine passed away this April.
I mean, I believe that it's right now because a lot of things are very uncertain, and to be honest, I feel very vulnerable and lost, especially because of this MCO that I'm stuck at home, and I feel that I'm not able to use my full potential. I feel that the situation is limiting me from expressing myself completely. And yeah, a lot of other things on the side as well.
I think my most hopeless moment was last year, right after the end of the first lockdown. I left my home, I moved to KL. I even withdrew from my master's just because I want to start a new business, which is nude media. So long story short, things didn't go as planned. I really doubted my choices of leaving everything behind, and I felt really alone. I feel like there's no support, and I don't know what the future is going to be like at that point in time.
Straight at it. So I would say the most hopeless moment in my life would be an event that occurred towards the end of 2018 and at the start of 2019. So to me personally, 2018 was like one of my favorite years because of my college experience, the relationships that I've formed with, the many friends that I still am, close friends with at this time. And 2019 was considered like a new beginning because I just graduated from college. But at that time, at the point in time, a really personal family experience or a family event happened that kind of irked me and made me feel down in the dumps so much. Like, I couldn't explain how bad it made me feel because I felt that I betrayed, some of my family members, and it was just a sense of guilt, negativity, and a lot of morose and despair sort of feelings.
I think it would have been in 2020 when COVID hit, because I am the type of person to lay out the plans for what I want to do next, and just COVID really just screwed everything up. So was having a really tough time looking for a job, and I think during that time when I was getting rejection emails, I somehow equated the job to my own worthiness as a person. So that was a really tough and emotionally very taxing period of time for me, because you get rejection emails by multiple companies, right? So after you get one, it's just like it feels like the world is against you.
And also at that point in time, I felt really unattractive because my skin started to break out, and I just don't have any confidence in myself anymore.
At that point in time, I just wanted to be able to muster the energy and the strength just to get through the day and every day, instead of mustering the strength to instead of mustering the strength to figure out what I want to do with my life. I just wanted to get through each day. That's how hopeless I felt at the time. Yeah, you know, a lot of you may also kind of resonate with that feeling, and that's totally fine, because I feel like that's kind of like a slump that most people go through. And if you're going through a slump, you know, I just want you to know that it'll definitely pass over time.
Okay. Well, I have not overcome it yet. I would say I'm in the process of overcoming it.
I talk to those who share the same loss as me, because as depressing as they are, funerals do bring families together. And during the funerals, we talk about our memories and stories with my uncle, and it somehow made us feel better.
I think the first and most important thing that I did was to accept the situation. Acceptance allows me to focus on finding the solution for my problems, and I started taking matters into my own hand.
So the good thing, and I was quite fortunate enough to be able to, you know, fate and destiny and time was fortunate enough to be by my side, because at that point in time, after that event happened, I started work, and that kind of just filled the void and occupied the space in my mind, as well as just filled my, you know, my brain with just constant distraction and, you know, other things to sort of focus on instead of focusing on my despair, right?
It took me a really long time, because when you get so many rejection emails, or companies does not reply you for some reason, it's just really difficult not to attribute these things to yourself. The fact is that it's not your fault. It is what is going on with the world right now. Things are really, really difficult for everyone. So that's why it took me a long time to get out of that negative loop of my thought process, because I kept attributing it to my own, like my results, or maybe my results aren't just great enough to get into this company. So it really took me a long time to like figure out why I was feeling that way. And then also it took me quite some time to be aware and just realize that the words that I'm telling myself is very negative. So once I was aware, it also took quite some time to get out of that habit, and then I dissociated my job seeking from my personal qualities. So it is a very tough but necessary process, I believe.
Regarding my skin problems, like I still have a lot of acne. Like I don't know why, like, even though I didn't go out as much, like it still remained the same. I'm still finding the solution for it, but in the meantime, it's not that I've become less bothered by my skin, but just, you know, surround yourself with supportive and loving people who won't really judge you because of your flaws.
I think almost towards the end of 2020, only I started really taking care of my mental health, in the sense where I was more aware of my thought process, and I just, you know, just go with the flow with everything, and things started to fall into place by then. So I'm quite glad that I overcame this, but it's a really long process.
Yeah, so I guess surrounding yourself with positivity, as well as, you know, occupying that void with something meaningful, kind of helped me overcome that slump. I wouldn't say that that's like a surefire way of overcoming it, because it's definitely something that builds up over time, and it doesn't happen like that. It's something that's gradual and takes step by step. Yeah. Okay, so word of advice, some preamble. different people experience different things in their life, and this answer is by no means a sort of, one size fits all kind of answer, because you go through your experiences, your day-to-day lives, and people react differently to certain things. So enough of the preamble. The advice I would give someone experiencing similar things is that just acknowledge that life is just full of pain, disappointment, failure, feelings of disgust and fear. But the sad thing is that that's all part and parcel of life. Life isn't life without those aspects. That's what makes life. So once you acknowledge that, just know that if you choose to move forward instead of sitting still, you're already making a difference for yourself. And that's the most important person that you have to please. It's just yourself.
The job market right now really isn't great. So for whatever reason that you cannot look for a job right now, please do not blame yourself, because it really isn't your problem right now.
I think it would be just go with the flow, like really. Of course, not in a lazy way, more of in a self-aware way. But just like stop overthinking and just let things happen and let things be, because I personally believe that in the end of the day, things will definitely get better. No matter what, just gotta keep believing, you know what I'm saying?
For me, I think grief is not something you can get over with. You can't really get a closure because the feelings will come back from time to time. But as time passes, the intensity of the feeling will lessen, and maybe you will find a way to soothe yourself or distract yourself by talking to your family or friends or just someone who understands you, and somehow you will learn to live with it, and it will get better over time. It's just a matter of time.
It's easy to feel like it's the end of the world when you're in that kind of situation, but just remember that once you have hit the lowest point in your life, the only way is
within, I guess, in the short life that I've had so far, in my almost 21 years of meeting people in my life as well, I've noticed that majority of people have that sense of, I want to be able to do some good and save the world. I want to be able to leave the world a better place than when I found it. I want to be able to leave the people that I meet better people than when I met them. And I just want you to know that it's okay if you want to save the world just for one person. It's okay if you want to add value to just that one person. And that it's more than okay if that one person is yourself. So that's my word of advice. Just keep moving forward, because things will pass over time. And if you want to develop or add value to anyone, just prioritize yourself first. Alright?